Today we're going to be learning more about the game Magic Mountain, a game that's especially appropriate for families with young children. It won the Kinderspiel des Jahres in 2022, which is an internationally recognized award for families. So in this video, we'll talk about why I think this game is probably deserving of this award and whether or not it would be an engaging game for you and your family. Before we talk about Magic Mountain, I just want to make clear that this is definitely a family game, and if you would like to identify which games I review, which are for families versus hobbyists, the family games, I always put this award, medal, stamp on the thumbnail. So if you see that there, that means for families. If you don't see that there, that means the game is probably a deeper strategic game, which I've been reviewing a lot of lately. So today, family game, the board game dad stamp of approval. Let's talk about Magic Mountain, though.
Have you ever heard of the Magic Mountain? You'll find it in the middle of a dense forest where the magical will-o'-the-wisps live. They don't know good from evil, but love dancing down the mountain paths. Once they reach the foot of the mountain, they visit Balduin, the wise magician who lives there. He is very powerful and possesses a magic wand with a tip made from a legendary crystal. This crystal has caught the eye of the 4 meanest witches in all the land. They are plotting to take Balduin's wand for themselves. Fortunately, word of their plans has reached the students at the nearby Wizards Academy, so 6 courageous students take to the road to warn Master Balduin. However, the witches already have a head start. Send the will-o'-the-wisps through the forest so they show the students the right way, but lead the witches astray. However, once the will-o'-the-wisps have been allowed to run free, their path is quite hard to control. Collaborate to bring the students to Balduin's house before the witches reach him, because you can only win or lose this game together.
So that is what the game is about. Because the game is so simple, though, rather than go over the rules, let's just watch it being played. This is the game setup. You can see we've got the 4 evil witches that have their head start, and the 6 students here at the beginning. We also have the wizard down at the bottom here. This would be the basic gameplay, but we can flip it over and see the conditions for advanced gameplay. So for each level, there's a different number of students you want and a varying number of witches that you can allow through. So I'll set it up on the more advanced gameplay. To start, just reach in here and grab a marble. So you can see that the slant here is with these plastic supports that give the board a nice slope. And since I drew a white marble, any character it encounters while going down the mountain will move to the next available white space. So if this witch gets hit, it'll move all the way down here. So I might actually drop it over here, and maybe this one will move, but it won't move as far. So once you've made your choice, there's nothing left to do but drop it and see what happens. There we go. So we got lucky. I got to move 1 student and no witches. Now, of course, when I pick a marble, you can put it wherever you want, but you can always look a little closer and discuss your options. I could drop it right here, and if I do, it's going to hit this one and this one. So let's go ahead and take a look at that chain reaction. I drop it here, and this one is going to move all the way down to there. And then this one is going to move here, and it might trigger this witch, which would move all the way to there. I hope that doesn't happen, but let's see. Oh, I got lucky, so this one got missed. That could have been terrible, though, because what could have happened is, if this had gone here, then I could have moved this witch down, and then the exact same marble could have hit it again, which would have moved it all the way to there. So this is the kind of risk we have in this game. The recommendation on the cover of this game is for ages 5 and up, but I think it could be played with children as young as 3 years old, and there's a few reasons for that. First of all, because it's produced by Amigo Games, which specializes in producing games with very simple rule sets, it's very easy to teach, to explain, and hardly even requires an explanation. It's just so intuitive. Furthermore, as you're playing the game, the path towards victory makes a lot of sense. It's good versus evil in this game. If the marble hits the witch, everyone understands that that's a bad thing. And if it hits one of the good witches, it's very clear that that's a good thing. So it makes everyone understand exactly what's at stake and what to celebrate if you are victorious. With a lot of other games that I've played, now, my children are a little bit older, though I used to play with my daughter when she was 3 years old. I found that sometimes victory is a little more abstract. Like, for example, you're playing a game where the objective is to get points or something, and points doesn't really, you know, isn't communicated very well with a very young child. Like, the points aren't really what make a game fun. What makes a game fun for a younger child is a story and a goal that is very clear and easy to understand. And that's what this game has. And then finally, I really enjoy the scaffolding in this game because the fun part is dropping the marble and finding what happens, and anybody can do that. Even if a child has, an attention span, you're working on developing their attention span. That part is simple and engaging, but then the next part is the procedural part, which is when the marble encounters a character, you have to determine where the character moves next. So the question you're always asking is, okay, it's the red marble, it's hit this character, where is the next red space? And if your child is engaged, they can try to identify the next red space and move the character to the red space. And it is kind of fun that speed is an element, right? You can have these combo effects where when the character moves, the marble hits the same character twice. So that the excitement of it possibly hitting the same character twice is fun, as long as you move it quickly enough. But if your child's starting to lose interest or, their attention span just isn't there yet, they don't have to do that part. They can just enjoy watching what happens as you move the witches. There's scaffolding place for you to play that out as you see fit. So I love this game for young kids. That being said, though, let's talk about it with older kids and older families. This is a short game. This is a 10-minute game sometimes. Now, you can make it a little bit longer by making it harder, just by increasing the challenge. The more challenging you make the game, the more that there is at stake, is the more you'll focus on what the best path could be. And you'll talk about, well, if it goes down here and it hits that one, like what kind of chain reaction can snap? You can really engage that conversation. You can go much farther. I kind of like this game when it plays quickly. When a 10-minute game is really fun. I don't enjoy this game so much if I'm trying so hard to get like a perfect score where only the students get to the end and no witches, because then the element of luck is almost too frustrating to make it so fun for me. But that's really the only way you can go if the players are old enough. The only really way to engage them is to make it harder, and eventually the luck just kind of frustrates a little bit. So a lovely game if you're looking for a light and easy experience for understanding the structure of gameplay, taking turns, understanding rules, victory conditions versus loss conditions, and improving attention spans for 10 to 15 minutes if you're playing with young kids. I think this game is brilliant. I do highly recommend it, and if you are a game enthusiast and you would like your family to get more involved, this is a great entry game for children. So that is Magic Mountain.